We could potentially see a World Championship decided again this weekend, and at a sprint weekend again as well. It's highly unlikely, in fact, pretty much impossible they'll be run on the Saturday, but let's see what's going to happen for the Qatar Grand Prix. And we'll start off with the schedule for the final sprint weekend of F1 in 2025, with two support series on the schedule as well, the Porsche Carrera Cup for the Middle East, and also F2 returning for the final two rounds of the F1 season. If you want to convert it across to UK time, then you take 3 hours off. I'll take it off for the F1 sessions themselves. The Carrera Cup Middle East opens up proceedings on Friday at 12:50 local, followed by F2 practice at 2 PM local. Then at 4:30 local time, 1:30 UK time, you have FP1. Carrera Cup Middle East follows after at 6 PM local before F2 qualifying at 7 PM local. Sprint qualifying for F1 is at 8:30 local, which is 5:30 UK time. And that wraps up Friday's action. Saturday opens with the Carrera Cup qualifying at 3:20 local, followed by the F1 Sprint at 3 PM local, 2 PM UK. So if you're a WRC fan, you can go straight from the season finale, the season-ending power stage in Saudi Arabia, to the F1 Sprint. Then the F2 Sprint follows at 7:20 local, followed by F1 qualifying at 9 PM local time, or 6 PM UK time. That then means that the Carrera Cup Middle East ends up closing out the action at 10:45 local time. That is a late finish after 11 PM local time for that first race. The Carrera Cup second race opens up proceedings on the Sunday at 1:50 local. Then F2 3 PM local before the Qatar Grand Prix starts at 7 PM local time, 4 PM UK time. And let's briefly give you a 2024 recap, because it was a sprint weekend there as well. Russell got himself between Norris and Piastri for sprint qualifying, and then at the start, Piastri just jumped through. He managed to get the win from Lando Norris, and Piastri has won in Qatar before. It was the sprint, wasn't it? He gave the win over to Norris Norris gave the win over to him back in 2023. That was his first F1 win, in a sense. And yeah, Lando followed him home in second place. When it came to the actual race and qualifying, it was front row for Verstappen and Russell, with McLaren on the second row. But Norris had made a good start. He got through to second, then he got a 10-second stop go for ignoring yellow flags. That dropped him down to 10th in the end. So whilst Piastri got third, Leclerc got through to second, and Verstappen won, it doesn't tell the full narrative of the weekend, because it could well have been that Norris was battling Verstappen for the win, if not for that 10-second penalty. And let's briefly mention the championship picture. Norris could mathematically win the title this weekend. He needs to just outscore Verstappen and Piastri by 2 points over the course of the whole weekend. So, basically, win the Grand Prix and be top 3 in the sprint. That will seal it for him. And, yeah, there is a way in which he could win the championship on the Saturday. It would require such heavy damage to his rivals and him outscoring them in the sprint that neither of them could race on Sunday. But yeah, it is theoretically possible. 24 points, it's a nice advantage to have, and it means that he could just take it easy, really. Finish third in every session from here to the end. Yeah, that'll be it. That'll be enough. And hope that his teammate and his other title rivals squabble so much that he can benefit off of it. What might not benefit McLaren, as a team that has done very well with tyre deg over the last couple of seasons, is the 2-tyre change rule. It's a bit like the Monaco one, except it's not to spice up a Monaco Grand Prix. It's because of tyre failures. Those have been the tale of the Qatar Grand Prix in its run in F1. The aggressive curbing can cause lots of punches. Though it didn't happen in recent years to the same extent. It did happen twice last year, but the first edition was a massive issue for it. It's because of how teams run the tyres, and it's also because of the curbing. Pirelli aren't going to make a bespoke tyre just for Qatar, so instead, there's a rule change. It's mandated stint length. It's not you have to use all 3 different compounds as in Monaco. It is you can't run longer than a certain amount of laps. It's not a forced 3 stop, it's a forced 2 stop. Basically, unless you get lapped a couple of times, in which case it could possibly be a 1 stop. But it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. It's counted by the amount of laps done in competitive sessions. So safety car laps count, installation caps don't. interesting, but that's the only metric they have to properly measure it all by. In terms of ones to watch, you put your money on the McLarens, right? This is basically a textbook McLaren-y track. It benefits teams who can manage the tyres well. It benefits teams who can just sail through the medium and higher speed corners, which the McLarens are strong at. And there aren't many traction zones which would benefit, say, Red Bull or Merc or Ferrari, at least relative to McLaren. So it could be that McLaren has the best car around here. Thing is, Piastri's just going to have to go for broke. Verstappen's just going all out. And Verstappen is probably the best driver on the grid right now. And he's been the best driver throughout this rule cycle. So if you're expecting somebody to be able to pull it out the bag with that kind of relentless form, who's your money going to be on? Be real. Either way, folks, those are my thoughts and feelings. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. As always, thank you so much for watching and joining, and hope to see you potentially Sunday, potentially Monday for the review, depending on what happens in Supercars and what happens here. Alright, till then, bye for now.